Welcome back to The Big Show. It's Alex Belfield talking to my favourite people, and everybody knows I love Elaine Paige. How are you?
Oh, I'm terribly well. How are you?
Very, very good. This is strange, you see, because there I am normally on a Sunday listening to you in my car. Now I'm listening to you through my headphones on my radio show.
There you go. That's how it works.
You've not been here for months, so you've been doing it from Broadway.
I have.
That was annoying because you had to get up early.
I know. It was good fun, though. It was great to be in New York for a few months. It was terribly hot, a wonderful summer in the city. It was great.
So what happens then? Do they put you up in a hotel? Do they give you an apartment?
Well, what happened was I stayed in a hotel for a couple of weeks, and then I found myself a little apartment that was affiliated to the hotel, so it was perfect. I had my own place and yet all the facilities of the hotel.
You see, I'm disappointed in you in a way, because last time I was there, I went to interview Sarah Brightman in her apartment overlooking 42nd Street. Couldn't she have lent you a room?
Exactly. I mean, where are these people? Where are your friends when you need them, huh?
Is it nice to be over there? Because, of course, you're almost a bigger star on Broadway than you are in the West End, because they really revere their musical people, don't they?
They do. They love musical theatre and anybody connected with it. And really, it's amazing. It always amazes me because I've really only ever performed over there, a handful, not even that, 2 or 3 times. Once on Broadway with Sunset Boulevard, and then at the New York City Opera with Stephen Sondheim's, and I can't say it. What is it? Sweeney Todd. And so, it's not like I'm there that much, but they're always very kind to me. And this time I was there, I managed to also do a gig down in Atlantic City, and that was great fun too. And out of that, next summer I'm going to be over there in Washington, D.C. I'm going to do Stephen Sondheim's Follies out there. So more and more I seem to be working in the States, it seems.
Once a year I get to go over and do Belfield on Broadway, and it's my chance to get free tickets. And by the way, I hope you're not paying to go and see any musicals.
Oh no, don't do that. I always say I'm press, or I'm with the BBC.
Goes wonders, doesn't it?
Yeah, the BBC works wonders out there, doesn't it?
The show that really impressed me last time I was there in March was the Memphis, which everybody thinks is about Elvis, nothing to do with him.
No, but it is about a DJ, isn't it? And music. Is that the one?
Absolutely, yeah. Brilliant story about the first white DJ to play black music.
That's right, indeed. And I found it really interesting, that show. And indeed interviewed the writer of it for my radio show. And what I love about musical theatre on Broadway is that somehow or other they do manage to put on new musicals right on Broadway, and that last and that people actually go and see. There's many more new musicals on Broadway than there are on the West End, I'm pleased to say. But, whereas here it seems to be inundated with too many revivals, I think. Well,
and this year, it's been a horrible, or the worst year, I think, in the history of West End in terms of new shows. I can't think of anything other than plays. There's plays happening all the time, but
that's right.
But the big blockbusters just aren't opening, are they?
No, they're not happening, are they? And that's what I mean. At Broadway, they manage to keep on finding new stuff, and we need to try and learn how to do that, I think, in the West End as well.
Do you ever get fed up talking about musicals? Because there's so much more to your life than talking about Phantom or Les Mis or Mamma Mia.
Well, I love musical theatre. I love being in it more than watching it, I think, which is the irony in a way, that that I've had the most glorious career from musical theatre. But given the opportunity, I'd rather go and see a good play than a musical. But maybe that's because I've always been involved in it. It's a bit like, taking coals to Newcastle, isn't it? It's that kind of thing. So, give me a good play any day.
Is there also an element that you sit there thinking, hang on, I could do that better?
I don't think I do that really, but I think musical theatre has changed so much as well since the days that I was doing it. The musicals in my time were much more, mini operas really, operetta even, all sung through and with interesting and unusual storylines. Now, as we know, it's much more jukebox, isn't it, in that the storylines are thin and it's just lots of, great songs threaded together. So the whole thing has changed so much.
Is that a good thing, though? Because it does bring people through the doors. My mate Maz Murray's been starring in We Will Rock You, and there's no bigger star in the West End than her right now, in my opinion. It's a rubbish show in terms of the story. The music's great. We love Queen. They've got a great PA system. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, sure, there's nothing wrong with that. And, if, as you say, it gets people into the theatre, and that's always a good thing, because there's no point in having theatres if people don't go to them. But on the other hand, I think we need to also nurture young writers and find a way somewhere, even if it's off Broadway in the sense, off the West End, to nurture young writing. And I don't think we do that enough. Somehow here, whereas on Broadway there's lots of little off-Broadway theatres, and the young people have a real love of musical theatre and always out there trying to create and trying to write and trying to do something new. Again, I don't think we seem to have that quite in the same way in this country. The love of it isn't there in the same way.
The problem with Broadway, though, it's incredibly expensive. I noticed it's about £80 for a same ticket that you'd get to see Billy in the West End for 50. I mean, but they still pay it.
Well, it is true. The astronomical ticket prices on Broadway now. I mean, to go and see Memphis, I think I paid something like, or would have paid, $100+, like $120, $130 to go and see a musical. I mean, and even plays, it's astronomically expensive. And I think that's the problem as well here. Economically, people can't afford that. Or if they do, then they cut down the amount of times they will go and see something in the theatre, because clearly by the time you've got yourself to the theatre, you've had a bite to eat, you've bought a programme and you're sitting in your seat. I mean, you can say goodbye to £250 or more easily for two people. So that's the thing, we've got to look at that as well.
Listen.
I don't know where. Well, listen to me. What do I know?
Well, exactly. I'm the same. I say talking nonsense every day. Listen, I want to talk to you about my friends, because I've got some great showbiz pals. Jay McDonald.
Yes.
Joe Pasquale, Sue Pollard.
Yes.
Look at yours. Barry Manilow, Paul Anka, Billy Ocean, Olivia Newton-John, Michael Bolton, Dionne Warwick. Are you trying to say something here, Miss Paige?
No, I'm really not. But aren't I lucky? I mean, Dionne Warwick is somebody that I remember growing up listening to, and now here I am singing with Dionne Warwick. I mean, it's such a thrill, I can't believe to tell you. And I'm going to be singing with her live as well in London in January, on the January the 9th, for a charity concert. So I'm really bowled over about that. But no, I mean, it's just amazing. I can't believe it myself that half these people have said they'll sing with me. But a lot of it has come through my radio show, funnily enough, through interviewing.
Oh, rubbish. Nothing to do with a radio show. They know who you are and they love you. Don't have a radio show.
It is to do with that, in the sense that I've interviewed them and we've become friends. I mean, Bette Midler and I are like that now. I mean, we're pals, although she's not on the album. She wouldn't do it.
What happened there then?
Oh, I don't know. I kept trying to say to her, come on, get yourself on this album. She said, no, you don't want to record with me.
One of the happiest 2 hours I ever spent in a theatre in Vegas, seeing that woman.
I
Marvellous.
know. She's wonderful. Well, she's as funny off as she is on.
Mucky as well. I love that. Very dirty.
Yes, I know. We always have great fun when we see each other.
We're back with Elaine Paige on your favourite local radio station. It's Alex Belfield talking to, the greatest star of musical theatre ever. And that's just not me making it up. That's the truth. Is that something you're very proud of now, that actually very few people stick out in musical theatre and you've managed to make a name for yourself?
Well, I suppose looking back now, I mean, at the time I didn't kind of think about it. I just knew I was lucky to be in the right place at the right time when British musical theatre was going through a transition period, if you like. I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice were changing the face of British musical theatre, and I happened to be right there at that time and took that journey with them to some degree. So I was very lucky, as well as, obviously I worked jolly hard as well at it. It's not altogether come that easily, but yes, looking back, I suppose I am quite proud of it, because it's all very well getting there or making something of yourself when you're a girl from Barnet, from the suburbs, the end of the Northern Line, to keeping there and staying there. That's the hard part. I mean, it's you do have to kind of you have to come up with ideas, and you have to convince the people that that they want to see you in this show, and so on and so forth. So I'm very fortunate indeed, and nothing can amaze me more than that 40 years on I am still here, as they say. And that's the song I'm going to be singing out in Washington DC in Follies next summer.
The great thing about you, as I've told you many times, is you've got big belters. But on this album, I notice I've listened all the way through, and it's more subtle. I mean, one of my favourite tracks, The Prayer, it's a beautiful song anyway, but you've done it with Barry Manilow, old Big Nose.
Yes.
And it just sounds lovely, and it's kind of a different sound to your voice. Has something changed, or is it me?
Well, I think, as you get older, your voice changes, the sound changes anyway. Everything drops for a start. I mean, the keys come down a little, so I'm singing, perhaps in the middle register instead of the soprano register. And also the timbre of your voice, the actual tone and sound of the voice becomes richer and darker. So I think definitely the sound of one's voice does change. But I think it's also because I'm more relaxed now as well. And these songs that I've chosen, a lot from the 70s, because those are the songs that I was growing up with and that influenced me. And I remember loving to listen to myself. And I thought we don't hear them enough anymore. So I wanted to kind of, bring them back, as it were, and give them a second airing. I think it's also that they're the kind of songs that are kind of trucking songs. They are more relaxed kind of songs. They're not your big belting ballads. And other than The Prayer, really, and the only original song on the album, It's Only Life, by Tim Rice and Gary Barlow with Sinead O'Connor. But other than that, they're all really much more laid back and rhythmical songs. And that's deliberate in a way. I wanted to move away from musical theatre and the constraints of musical theatre. I wanted to try something different and see if I could swing a bit and, get in the groove. That was the idea. I was giving myself a little challenge, and to sing quietly, because everybody's always, not criticised, but everyone's always said, oh, you've got such a big voice and all of that. Well, yes, but I can sing quietly as well, and nobody's ever quite realised that. So I thought I'd give them a chance to hear that I can.
Your voice is beautiful, of course. Ken Dodd once described my voice as a chain coming off a motorbike, which is slightly insulting, isn't it, really? In terms of your pals on Broadway and around the world, is it nice to be you? Because when you get on the plane, they know who you are, and when you come into the station, they know who you are, and when you walk down the street. Is that still fun?
Yeah, I like it. It is fun. It's it's the taxi drivers that make me laugh, because I can never get in a taxi without somebody falling to conversation with me about some television show I did 300 light years ago. So it's always very nice and very flattering to think that people remember your early days and who you are and what you've done. Of course, it's very flattering. No, I don't mind that now. I mean, I found it rather difficult at the beginning. I didn't like it at all, but now it's kind of a way of life. And I think if when the day comes when that doesn't happen anymore, and sure as hell it will, it'll be interesting to see how I feel about that.
I don't know at this point. I think you've gone past that, really. They'd have got bored by now, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I never think about any of that anyway. It's all rubbish. What I care about is the fact that I like to still be doing what I'm doing. I still get a buzz out of doing the radio show and recording and live concerts, and I'm so lucky to be doing a job that is fun. Let's face it, not everybody is able to do that, and that's the best thing, isn't it?
Here, Elaine, as you know, I do this as my part-time job, and I love doing the wireless, but you are a master at it. And can I play you a clip that I took off the radio years ago? I don't know when it was, but I love it. It's my favourite radio clip ever. And it's you. Are you ready for it?
Oh, gosh. What is
Richard
it?
Marx and Donna Lewis with At the Beginning, written by Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty.
Why is that funny?
I don't know.
She's off and it's
Oh, no,
soon.
don't make me laugh, because I got a bit of a cold and it makes me cough. Oh, crikey. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Stephen Flaherty.
It's going to be a long 2 hours, dear listener.
I nearly crashed the flaming car when you did that, Elaine. Stop it.
Oh, dear, yes.
Can I ask you a question? There's rumours about certain lady presenters at Radio 2 having a little sniff of the barman's apron before they go on air. Had you had a drink that day?
No, not at all. I certainly never drink before performing, don't you know? No, I think it was just trying to say the guy's name, Flaherty, and I couldn't do it, and it just, I don't know, it tickled my funny
You can't
bone.
buy moments like that. I nearly crashed the flaming car. I couldn't believe it. It was just brilliant. Thank you for those moments. My other other favourite moment was the other week when your newsreader, before you came on, bearing in mind, going into a musicals programme, couldn't say Les Miserables.
A special performance of Les Miserables is taking place tonight to mark its 25th anniversary.
Hey, listen, it's always lovely having you on. You're one of my favourite people, and that Radio 2 show, of course, I mean, my radio show's the best. But next to that, of course, you're not doing so bad for yourself. Listen, this new album is just lovely. Elaine Paige and Friends has got everybody on, from John Cicada to Idina Menzel as well, brilliant actress from Wicked, most people will know her from. Barry Manilow's on there, and Billy Ocean and Johnny Mathis. Great job. Thank you so much for coming on the programme.
My pleasure. Great to talk to you.